Hi everyone, it is day 5, I believe, of vlogmas. So I am going to be doing something I haven't done for quite some time, and that is a wrap-up. So I realize that some books I have not talked about at all, and I have more books on my Goodreads than I do, you know, on my wrap-up. So I'm like, yeah, I did not talk about these books, and I really should. So I'm forgetting what numbers I'm at. I think I'm at 29, so it's probably going to be 29 through, 30 something, depending on the books that I remember to talk about. So, yeah, let's get started. So, the first book I want to talk about, most of these are pretty small books, like fairly thin books, so that's why there's going to be quite a bit on this one. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Convenience Store Woman. I have totally forgot the author's name now, but I'll put the names of the books down below and everything, and I'll also try and insert pictures, so you'll get them in case I forget, like, author names and all that other stuff, or if I've forgotten, proper pronunciation. But yeah, Convenience Store Woman. So, the premise sounded interesting. I myself was, at one point, a convenience store woman. I have since left that job. The book wasn't bad. Basically, it takes place in Japan, and it is about this woman that has been at this convenience store for about 10 years or so. She is, I believe, in her late 30s, and she's not up to the standards of her society. People want her to either get married or have a proper job or both, and that it's just not working out for her and everything. It wasn't that the book was poorly written or anything, it's just that it was too short, in my opinion. It felt more like the whole book was supposed to be, just the beginning chapters of a longer book. Like I said, I thought that the writing was okay. I thought that the characters were okay. I felt that if it was longer, it could have been expanded into, a really good contemporary book. It's just, it was too short. I might pick up something again from this author, but hopefully she'll have something that's a little longer. But yeah, I mean, if you want, like, a quick contemporary read, I'd say go for it. It's just, yeah, it could have been longer. That is the same with Fahrenheit 451, right? Classic dystopian world where books are banned, they might invoke certain emotions in people, certain ideas aren't good to have, and then of course you have your character who, and like many dystopians, before and after begin to question their, society, and if things are really working out. This one really is a good book and everything. I can understand why people like it and everything. It's just, again, like Convenience Store Woman, it could have just been longer. Because sometimes you get, like, good characters or characters that are, you see, them develop and everything, but there's just only so many pages, and, that's the bad thing about when you get to, like, characters or writing style and the book is short. Yeah, it's convenient to, get through and everything, but, you want a little bit more to the story and everything. But yeah, I couldn't imagine living in that world where people are paid to burn books and keep people from ideas and, stuff like that. Yeah, I just wish it was a little bit longer. I did like the writing and the characters and everything. 3 books that I'm going to talk about are 3 graphic novels, sort of like, you know, from this series kind of thing. It's a series on the Olympian Gods. And I say it like that because one of them is Hades, and I don't believe Hades is actually an Olympian god. But, actually I think they state that in the book too, but they did a book on him anyways. So to kind of like group these 3 together, the ones that I read was Zeus, and I think the subtitle was like King of the Gods, Athena, the gray-eyed goddess, and Hades, god of the underworld. And it basically is a graphic novel about, you know, these deities, their myths, you know, stuff like that, information, little stories, you know, Zeus and his kid having and all that other stuff. That one was pretty okay. I like the one with Athena a little bit more, where, oh my god, I haven't really heard this myth too many times, and the names escape me, but she basically ends up like killing somebody, like in practice or a competition type of thing, you know, that she like really didn't mean to do, that kind of thing. And honestly, the one about Hades, it was actually a lot more about Persephone and, you know, how she got to the underworld. And the author even said that yes, it's more about her, but he didn't think that that title, you know, her being, I believe, the goddess of spring, right? I'm still learning about the pantheon and Hellenic religion and all that stuff. But I believe she was the goddess of springtime. And, yeah, it's more about her, but, like, the graphics are really good. The, you know, storylines are good and everything. I'd recommend them. They're fun. And then I'm going to talk about a book that I just got done with for the Legendary Readathon. And that was read a book by your favorite author. And so one author that I really like is Kate DiCamillo. And she wrote Because of Winn-Dixie and The Tale of Despero. So you may have seen those movies or read them. You know, the books. But, yeah, Raymie Nightingale it sort of has a similar, you know, premise to Because of Winn-Dixie, as where there is, you know, a parent that has basically run away. So it's basically about this young girl named Raymie. Her name is Raymie Clark, and her father has run away with a dental hygienist. And so she wants to enter into this little Miss Florida tire competition. So she basically get her win and get her picture in the paper. And she thinks if she's like famous, her father will come back. Like he'll be impressed or whatever, and he'll come back. And basically it's about her kind of forming this friendship with these 2 other girls. One has lost her parents, and she lives with her grandmother, and she's kind of sweet but absent-minded in a lot of ways. And then there's one that is all about common sense, and her father basically left, and she's more of the harder one, you know. And it's kind of about like how they like slowly form like this friendship and everything. You know, it's a short book. It's like a middle grade, older children's book, but I really like her writing style. I like, you know, how she touches kind of on those harder subjects, but, you know, still has it in a lighthearted way. And I think if you like Because of Winn-Dixie, you would like this one too. It's a sweet story. Sorry, it got too cold and I had to put on, or I had to zip up my jacket here because it was cold. I was looking through my wrap-ups, and I don't see that I had talked about Reboot at all. So, Reboot is a YA dystopian novel. It's like a duology, so I have to read the second one now. It was okay. I don't know if it would be something that I would read over and over again, but like the premise was interesting. But it's just sometimes they make some of these characters a little too tough, hard, that kind of thing. Basically, it is about the future where there is this virus that kind of like reanimates people. They're not like zombies, they're more like less human in a way. Basically, the longer you are dead before you're revived or whatever, before you come back, like the less emotions and stuff you have. You also have like better senses. Basically, the government takes these, people, especially more like kids, and kind of like use them as weapons and everything. And then you have this one that I think she died for like 178 minutes, and doesn't really have a lot of emotion, or she doesn't think she does. She had a bad home life, and then this guy comes, and he wasn't dead for that long, so he's still pretty human. And of course, as the stories go, she begins to rebel, after being with this guy. Or, she has to train him, basically, to kind of be like this human weapon. So it was basically your standard dystopian. It's not a bad read. I don't think it's like the best. But yeah, I think it's worth checking out. I'm gonna read the second one. And then I read Unicorn Bowling and Camping with Unicorns and A Unicorn of Many Hats. I don't think I've talked about any of those. I don't think so. They're all Phoebe and her unicorn books dealing with unicorns that are bowling, her going to the unicorn camp, and other stuff like that. I don't know, they're just like little stories, within like this children's graphic novel. And I always love them. I mean, I don't always remember everything about them because, it's, they're not like continuing stories. I mean, some things, you hear from the older books, to the newer ones, but, yeah, I always say I highly recommend these for a light read. They're humorous and just fun. Definitely fun. I read One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. Is that the title? Dr. Zeus starts off with the red fish, the counting, and then it goes into some other stories, and it's a cute kid's book. But yeah, I read those. Yeah, because I do count children's books and middle grade and stuff, because reading is reading to me, and sometimes reading can just be fun and silly. Oh, The Girl in the Locked Room I read for my readathon, because originally I was going to read a Goosebumps book, but I couldn't get a hold of the one I wanted. So, yeah. Girl moves to a new place, and there is like a ghost in this room, and she's this little girl. Basically, she has no idea what time it is, and they basically try to, in a way, help her. This girl and her friend, help her get back to her family, because she has no idea what time it is and stuff. And it really wasn't scary. it's more, I don't know. It really wasn't scary. It's like a middle grade book, so it was more like a friendship kind of thing. But anyways, yeah, that is my wrap up. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.